All right, 2025 NFL Draft Prospect Profiles. We're going to start getting right back on track with these. Josh Simmons is one that I wanted to wait for until after the Combine to see how serious this patellar injury was. And by every indication, it went extremely well at the Combine. In his medicals, in his team interviews, he was one of the most praised athletes for his interviews at the Combine. Multiple reports are telling us that the patellar injury was an extreme success, not just a success, but an extreme success, and that he is way ahead of schedule on his recovery. Now, when he got injured on week 6 of the college football season in October, he immediately had surgery on that patellar, and it usually takes a little over 12 weeks for that recovery. So that puts him right on frame to be recovered at this point and now starting his rehab. Well, he's doing kick slides, he's doing multiple drills, and they're saying doctors are having to hold him back because he's doing so well with his recovery. That's a really good sign. The medicals went extremely well. So now, in my opinion, I think this is one of those that the Bears are going to want to have his top 30 visits be one of the later ones. Remember, the last day for top 30 visits is April 16th. So I would think the beginning of April. Ohio State is going to have their pro day on March 26th. And it sounds like he's going to participate in their pro day. He did not participate at the Combine. Doctors wanted his rehab to be a little bit further, wanted him to be before he stressed it and before he put all the pressure on all of that. But it sounds like he's ready to go. So those rumors, those thoughts of him not being ready to go week 1 of the season, those can be thrown out the window because it sounds like by every indication that his medicals and everything related to him healing is that he can be ready week 1. The Bears did meet with him at the Combine, so as we know, they have 60 visits available. He was one of them. We don't know all the visits. We just hear of the ones that players said that they were involved with. And you look on the right side, there was an extensive amount of offensive linemen. So the Bears are interested in taking an offensive lineman, several offensive linemen in this group. Josh Simmons was one of them. Many think his draft stock would fall, but that seems not to be the case. He was consensus considered probably the most talented offensive tackle in this class, along with Will Campbell, who we also interviewed. But those two seem to have the highest consensus of going first in this draft. He started with San Diego State in 2022, transferred to Ohio State, and he was a standout from day one. You see his pass blocking grade of 82.0 there at the bottom. We always like to use this pointer here. 82.0. He allowed one pressure in those 6 games before his injury, one pressure, and the lowest variety of pressure on 158 pass blocking opportunities. He was a stone wall this year. He was setting himself to be a top 10 pick. Many think he still could be a top 10 pick. Many think the Bears should take him at 10. With his injury, I'm going to have to trust Ryan Poles and company on this one. I don't think tackle is our most pressing need, but with the additions that we've made of Jonah Jackson and Joe Thuney, it makes it more possible to be able to draft someone at that left tackle position. Someone maybe with an injury, a patellar injury that's rehabbing, coming back, to be able to develop behind Braxton Jones. And if Braxton Jones is injured, if Braxton Jones has an issue, put him in there. If he plays well, you could even trade Braxton Jones at the trade deadline. Get some value out of Braxton Jones before his contract's gone. Because remember, Braxton Jones is the top 14 left tackle in the league this year. So average, not top of the league. And Josh Simmons is considered to be a very high prospect there. Are the Bears ever going to have an opportunity to draft a prospect at left tackle this high again? Because if things go well, if we've signed these great guards and revamped the offensive line and we have our quarterback of the future, the Bears draft pick theoretically should be lower and lower, higher. Later in the draft is what I should say. 15, 20, 25, 27, 32. Should they be picking at the top of the draft? Now, next year's draft class is more stacked for left tackle to replace Braxton Jones. But are we going to get an opportunity to pick that high to do it? So there's the appeal of Josh Simmons, is the Bears taking someone they normally wouldn't be able to take this high. Because if he was completely healthy, that one pressure in 158 attempts and then the tape, I'll show the tape here in a minute of him, is really good on him. So will the Bears get an opportunity to take a cornerstone piece of the offensive line this early ever again? We'll rip open the tape here just for a minute. He's an absolute road grader, but he also has a base. He can handle himself in pass pro. He can handle anybody in the run game. He's very athletic. I don't have many quabbles with his game whatsoever. If you watch extensive tape on him, he's developing, But this final year, 6 games, I know it's a short amount of set with him, but there's not a lot to complain about with Josh Simmons' game. So in his scouting report, I'm just going to read, like I like to do, his strengths and weaknesses. Strengths: exceptional lateral mobility allows him to mirror speed rushers and execute backside cutoff blocks with rare fluidity for a man his size. Devastating punch power combined with independent hand usage consistently lands first meaningful contact while showing variety in strike patterns. Well, and like many in this class, he ended up having shorter arms than a lot expected, but he plays with such a strong base and power. He doesn't appear to have 33-inch arms, and that's kind of, the cutoff too. He's not one that I would expect to move into guard at all. He plays big, so I would expect him to stay at tackle for sure. Elite foot speed and kickside technique lets him consistently beat rushers to a spot, rarely getting beat around the corner. He displays outstanding spatial awareness when working combo blocks and picking up stunts, showing natural chemistry with his guards. Explosive first step and closing burst help him eliminate linebackers at the second level, arriving balanced and ready to deliver a blow. Brings serious juice in the screen game, showing rare ability to track down and eliminate targets in space for his size. You can see that on this tape. He's pretty neat. There's the kick slide right there too, and he handles anyone who comes. I'm really high on him as a prospect. I kind of think we need to go defensive line first, but if he's there and the Bears have scouted him, feel really good about his health, I'm good with the Bears taking him. They say his natural knee bend and anchor strength, allowing him to absorb power rushes without giving ground, even against bull rush specialists. Position versatility is a major plus, has started and played well at both tackle spots against quality competition. Not a problem for the Bears. Darnell Wright's not moving anywhere. His weakness, as they say, October 2024 knee injury raises significant medical concerns and will require thorough evaluation during the pre-draft process. That's the obvious we're talking about. Shows occasional lapses in hand placement against wide 9 alignments, allowing defenders into his chest plate too frequently. Part of that could be the arm length as well, but he seems to handle it well, and he's developing extremely well for left tackle. Racked up 25 penalties over past 2 seasons between San Diego State and Ohio State. That was the prior 2 seasons to this one. I will say that his penalties came down significantly each year. It was 17 the first year at San Diego State, 8 the second year at Ohio State. So that came down significantly. And then in half a season, a third of a season, more like half in a college football season, he only had 1 penalty this last year. So that's a little bit outdated on that one. He can get aggressive seeking contact in space, leading to balance issues and whiffed blocks on more elusive defenders. And limited 2024 sample size of just 6 games means team didn't see him against meat of Ohio State's schedule. They did see him against several good teams this last year, though. So his summary: Simmons isn't just a good athlete who can move in space. He's a tone setter who brings legitimate power and finishing ability to pair with his high-end movement skills. The explosiveness shows up early in drives when he's fresh, where he'll absolutely bury edge defenders on down blocks and drive linebackers 15 yards downfield in the screen games. That combination of traits makes him an ideal fit for teams running wide zones concepts that ask their tackles to reach 4-eye techniques and climb to the second level. The knee injury muddles his evaluation, but the tape from the 6 games in 2024 was nothing short of exceptional. He showed the ability to mirror Penn State's speed rushers, anchor against Michigan's power plays, and consistently reach defensive tackles on wide zone, 3 critical boxes for projecting NFL success. His pass protection technique and hand usage took a massive leap forward from 2023, suggesting he's still an ascending player as a player despite the 2024 sample size. Teams drafting between 15 and 25 should be sprinting to the podium if the medical checks come back clean. You're getting a day 1 starter with Pro Bowl upside who plays with genuine meanness in the run game while showing the feet and anchor to handle NFL edge rushers and protection. The improvement trajectory from San Diego State to his final games at Ohio State points to a player who could develop into one of the league's premier tackles within his first 3 seasons. I was not high on taking a tackle to start this draft. We have Braxton Jones for 1 more year on the rookie contract, right? And that's the thought process there. Well, we've gone out and got Jonah Jackson. We've gone out and we've got Joe Thuney. I don't know if we're going to pick this high again at the left tackle position. I don't know if we're going to be able to get a prospect as high as Josh Simmons. And you can have him for 4 years, plus a 5th-year option on his contract. So it's very possible that he could be the very best player available to us at 10 or a small trade down. So you see most places have him here between 10 and 18, maybe up to 25, 26. I think these are a little outdated. These are going to come up a little bit when they hear the medicals. The only reason he would have been this far down with CBS, PFN's, Sports and NFL.com 42 is because of the medical concerns. A lot of people were speculating, well, he wouldn't be able to start the beginning of the season. He wouldn't be able to. That's not true, it sounds like. It sounds like there's video of him with bands on working out, showing his kick slide is there. I'm showing he's back in good shape, but it's still a process for them to get back into NFL shape and to be working out, to be able to getting completely up to speed. So it'll be up to the Bears to evaluate that. They'll have 3 opportunities. The Combine, which they already have the medical, which it sounds went really, really well. Number 2 at Ohio State's Pro Day, which is March 26th. So they'll have an opportunity there. And then when they bring him in for a top 30 visit, and I would expect him to be brought in for a top 30 visit. I think right in this range here. I had my gray box before without knowing any further information, I personally said, somewhere between 27 and 17 is where I would take him. So a trade down scenario for the Bears, pick up extra picks, and then still take him. But it sounds like they might not have an opportunity to do that if other teams feel the same way. So they might have to pick him at right there at 10. So we'll see what the Bears decide on that one. But I'm open to this idea because he is the best in a class that didn't have any elite, really left tackles. With Will Campbell and Kelvin Banks being more suited to be a guard and not really top tier. Josh Simmons is the best top-tier left tackle in this class. So I am high on the prospect of Josh Simmons, worried about the medicals like everybody else, but it sounds like from everything you hear from, Ian Rappaport and many others at the Combine, that is not going to be a significant issue. We'll have to see, though, from, Pro Day to – it's going to be fun to watch the Pro Day for Ohio State and see how he gets out there and competes. And I think the Bears will definitely be in their full force for several guys at Ohio State's Pro Day, linemen especially, to be able to see how they compete and how they do on their Pro Day. So it'll be interesting to see, and we'll follow that one closely. So tell me what you guys think, though. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button, please do that. Until next time, the Bears, and bear down.